Okay, so let's get into what today's live stream is going to be about. Just as an update, first, I want to give some coverage to what I've been doing. I guess I can't really showcase this web development stuff too much, but hopefully my frames per second is coming in pretty well right now. You guys can see this web page on Firefox that I have right now. And basically what this is basically the Virtual Monsters webpage. If you guys have not heard of it, or you've seen it by now, you can check it out at mw-industries.com/virtual monsters. And what I've been working on is the virtual decks. Not once again, I did a trial run of this, and I wasn't too sure if certain things were being caught by the camera or not. So I'm going to be leaving, for the sake of making good content, I'm going to be leaving certain parts of the scroll like right there, just to make sure that it's being captured by the OBS software. My laptop doesn't exactly have a great processor, and yeah, that means that ignore the ad here. But basically, I'm adding some more pages to the Virtual Monsters page, so that way you can read up on lore about the game. I'm going to be adding a species list, and I haven't really talked about evolution in the game, but you'll get like a little precursor to how evolution works in the game. So I'm going to be talking about the different ranks of monsters in the game, which is why I was stressing about how many monsters I actually wanted to put into the game. So let's just show you this move decks here. Yeah, we have a move decks. I started naming some moves. I've shown some of them before. If you've been following me for a while, I've shown a few of them before on Instagram and Snapchat, actually. So you guys go ahead and follow me there. My links are in the description. You can follow me there for more stuff. And looks like you guys are seeing probably not all of it, but like a decent amount. Oh, you can't see the list of moves, so I'm just gonna go ahead and pick this move, the first move of the game, which would be Gum Bubble. So you can see how it kind of works. You'll have to go kind of visit the website yourself to basically see what I'm talking about. But today's episode is going to be a little bit different. Well, it's nothing too short of what we've already been kind of doing in terms of developing this game. Here we're going to go to our Trello board. If you see here, I'm actually going to move this up because this is actually the order in which I want to do things like that. But if you see on our Trello board, we've been working on the character creation system for a while. We're kind of putting that to the hold for a second. But I do realize that once I have this character creation system done and I can start instancing players into an actual world, I'm actually going to get a server set up, and what I'm going to do is probably put the game into public beta. I'm going to do a few testing rounds until eventually until eventually I know that this game is safe for me to actually release to the public once I've tested the game out with a few close friends. But I'm basically going to be getting this game into public beta as soon as possible. But before we do any of that, we got to finish fleshing out all the systems for the game. And what I'm learning right now about MMORPG development in Unity is that there's a lot of different assets for special tools, like special cameras and just special tools in Unity. This is why I always tell people that technically you can buy a bunch of assets off the asset store and then slap them inside of a project and then get a game up and running pretty quick. But in order to finish that game, it takes a little bit of additional effort, especially to get the things that you want to do with the game. And then more importantly, if you're trying to do something like multiplayer, not every asset necessarily works with multiplayer. You'll actually have to build quite a few of your own assets. And a lot of people just don't get that, especially when you get into building multiplayer MMORPGs or even an FPS, even a local multiplayer type of game, even doing those type of stuff. So like a lot of things like Cinemachine, like once again, you could don't entirely take my word. Obviously do your research on Cinemachine. You can obviously use it with MMOs. It's just that when Cinemachine, this is basically about cameras in general, because with Cinemachine, when you create a Cinemachine camera, it kind of has like a brain, and what you could do is basically add a different, like there's a way to do it with like your MMO, because you're basically instancing a character and all the other different characters that are in that room, or at least players are in that room, to make it visible for the player. So like with that in mind, you have to realize that the Cinemachine camera is kind of built as if the player prefab is already in there in the scene. The way how networking works is that you don't really have a player prefab in the scene. You kind of load the scene first, and then you load a player prefab into the scene, basically. Then you load the rest of the players and stuff like that into the scene. Otherwise, it'll be the exact same. It'd be the exact same prefab every time, and have things like character creation and customization and stuff like that. Basically, what I'm trying to say is the easiest way to kind of like go about using cameras in Unity, because we, as you see here, we have a check mark that says create special cameras for combat and cutscenes and combat. Basically, I was originally going to do this with Cinemachine, but I've decided not to use Cinemachine and just use built-in Unity cameras, because I already know how to do cutscenes. They're actually a lot simpler, but like when you try to do it with stuff like Cinemachine or some type of pre-built camera asset, it becomes a little bit more difficult, because you have to fit their code into your game versus building your own camera and then just programming the cutscenes. Like, it already has a camera. Like, you just need to see, you need to turn off certain culling masks and those type of things, so that way it doesn't render certain things in the cutscene. And then on top of that, you just need to create some code for how the camera is going to operate within the cutscene, and what happens once it reaches a certain point, or et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So, basically, that's what kind of held me back before. Here, I'm going to give you guys this visual of Unity I've been working on. You can see the new faction icons and that type of thing. Kind of went back to working on the battle system. There really isn't much here, because I have to load players into this area, and this area will kind of serve as a fighting arena. I'm gonna make it look visually a lot better than what it is. I actually need to change and originally I was gonna make this sort of a I'm not gonna do it anymore, but I was gonna make this like one room that could be interchangeable, but I already have to do that with the domain system, and I don't want to do that with this here. So anyhow, let's get back to this Trello board and just explaining a few things. So in terms of the battle system, we're actually not even going to work on this first per se. We're going to work on this card here that says Battle AI. And the reason why we have to do this Battle AI first is that we have to figure out the basic controls of the player first. And a lot of this, the reason why we're doing 3D modeling today is because we basically just need some artwork to kind of practice the concept of the game. And once you have a rough concept of the game down, then we can move into, fleshing out the game more and more and more. And that's where beta testing comes in, because, we have to balance the game before releasing, or at least balance it enough before releasing it to the public in general. But that's why we're 3D modeling today. That's a short way of saying everything, but that is essentially the reason why we're 3D modeling today. And create artwork for system modifiers. This is also why I've been doing things like working on the website, so that I can kind of have a certain amount of information down. All this stuff here. What can I say? This is some tutorials I was going to check out later in order to have a better grasp of how I'm going to do the fighting system and stuff like that. I'm going to be using the rigid body, so that's something else. But let's not focus on Trello, because there's not really much for me to show outside of that. We've kind of been going for like 10 minutes now. So, and this is basically what I wanted to talk to you guys about, is that I've been trying to kind of live stream for the longest for like a little while, but I kind of haven't been in the mood to 3D model exactly. So like, and I guess the message I wanted to preach was, you can't rush art. Like, and sometimes I do want to do things like every day consistently, but like I burn myself out. So, and it's not anyone else's fault but mine, but I burn myself out. But we're going to be doing some 3D modeling today, because I'm actually in the mood to 3D model. And I don't know if I've ever mentioned this before, that it's not that I necessarily hate 3D modeling. I've come to enjoy it, but it's not something that I enjoy as much as programming or doing 2D art for that matter, because I feel like those type of things naturally come to me. I feel like I'm more of a 2D artist, and working in 3D is kind of like working backwards for me. So but excuses, you know, everyone has one. Everyone has an excuse. Go here. Start a new general scene. What's going on here? Hold on a second. I actually need to restart Blender. I may have had it sitting there for a little too long. I shouldn't take too long to do this. So I'm gonna go ahead and play this playlist. Okay, so here we are again. Okay, good. Press A twice to select everything, then delete. Then we're gonna go press 1 to go to front orthographic mode. It's not that this is going to be a tutorial, but like I'm gonna kind of like coach through some of the things I do to actually 3D model monsters. Or at least this is the technique I've learned on 3D modeling monsters for my game, and why I think that once I actually sit down and do things, because like I said, you know, I'm doing the hair, I'm doing a lot of assets for this game in general by myself. So it's like once I actually sit down and do something, it's like I'm able to produce a lot at very, very short intervals, if that makes sense. I'm able to produce a lot in a very short time period. So it's like that's why I feel like I can do all the monsters for this game by myself, especially because I've gotten so far by myself that I might as well just continue doing it by myself, because it doesn't really make that much of a difference. Well, it would be nice to have a team, and I'll probably even try to hire people later on to actually help me come up with monster designs for the game. So, you know, if you guys are into that type of thing, you know, subscribe, follow me on social media, because I really like to grow this game and this community with you guys. But yeah, that's enough talking. Let's go. Is it Shift A? And we go. Where is it? Image. I'm gonna put in a reference. And now I think you can see any of this. Yeah, I don't think you can see any of this. Okay. Now we have this monster here, and the reason why we want that is because this is actually how the monster is going to be facing, and that's why we wanted the front orthographic view. So the next thing I'm going to do, what is it, an icosphere or UV sphere? I believe it's a UV sphere. Actually, tap into edit mode, just scale it up just a bit, like right there. Wireframe mode. And next, we add subdivision surface. Oh, wait a minute. Shade smooth, subdivision surface, and then hold on before we do that. Wireframe. I'm gonna go into face select, deselect everything, press B to box select. I'm gonna select half. And yeah, that should have got all of them right down the middle. I'm gonna go delete F for faces. Then I'm gonna go over here, add a mirror modifier, and then we need to add a subdivision surface. So that's that. And I believe this here ear is actually created by extruding these three. And once we extrude, like right there. Then I'm gonna select this face, grab z-axis. Can you do the other z-axis? Y, X. Nah, it's not gonna work. Try to grab it. Okay, move it like that. See, and yeah, that doesn't create the line like that. Now I'm starting to think I should have made them like thicker. First time I did it, came out as like kind of a slither. Extrude, like right there. Nah, don't want that. Kind of don't want that shape for the ear either. So maybe best I do it one. I don't know. When it comes to making these things, don't entirely have one approach to doing something. Perhaps instead of starting on the ear, what's in the mirror? To enable clipping this one. Okay, sorry. Trying to figure out what did I do that was wrong. Okay, I guess I must have taken off the mirror modifier by accident. But make sure you have this mirror modifier on and you have clipping. Okay, so I'm just making sure the subdivision surface was actually working properly. So these arms are actually a little bit tricky. So these arms, so yeah, I believe I extrude out first. That's that. Then I want to say I grab on the z-axis, bring him down, but I don't believe that's how it's done either. So grab, it's not it either. Yeah. Trying to remember how I did everything, so give me a little moment. That's why stuff is sort of difficult sometimes. Okay, I'm gonna extrude the x-axis. Man. All right, extrude. Let me look at these comments really quick. There are any comments? No, there aren't. So people have pretty much just been watching me struggle for like the past few minutes, but it's okay. It's okay. I did this once. I can do it again. I'm actually still trying to figure out where exactly. Yeah, I guess that's more midway through the body. That fit actually. So we're gonna do it that way. Okay. Here's what not to do. Yeah, that x-axis. I don't know why you're doing that before. Rotate it. That, grab z-axis. Just grab. Man, I'm trying to remember how I did this the other day. Where is it? And I believe I can just kind of see. That's not what you want to do either. Okay. Okay. Just rotate the face out that way. Okay. Now I remember what I did. This is what I did. Okay. Took me a while to figure it out again, but this is what I did. Press E to extrude on the Z-axis. At this point, it doesn't really matter where it comes out. And then press G and then Z just to again, E to extrude. Do it on the x-axis. I had to press X twice to get it on this axis. And press G and Z to bring it down. And G and Y. That Y. Alright, sorry. Trying to remember like the exact length I should probably extrude it out. It's like maybe like right there. And G, bring it into a position like this. And now you rotate it like that. Rescale it. We can grab it. A lot more. And that's basically it. Yes. Scale it a bit. Rotate like that. No. I'm sorry, but these arms still did not come out the way I want them to. Starting to think maybe that first draft I should have saved, but nonetheless. It was on the x-axis, like that. Grab on Z, position, grab on X, into position, rotate it, like that. Grab X, scale it. guess that's like that. That's not what I want to do that. I think this is pretty much the best I'm going to get those arms. Kind of wanted them, perhaps I'm doing wrong, so I'm not selecting enough triangles. Kind of wanted it to be, okay, that might be closer. Use grab Z, grab X. Oh, can we go a little smaller? Not right there. That is generally speaking the shape I wanted. Now I just want to do a few loop cuts. All right. Let me try this one last time. Okay. Loop cut. Depending on how things go, things can always turn out different. I'm basically trying to get this to be as perfect as I possibly can. Of course. So I won't be loop cutting that. So at least no pre-loop cuts. And grab Z, rotate. I'm gonna get that shape out of it. Show it over a little bit more. Over here. Z, X. Yeah, I'm definitely not going to have it as good as I once had it. I think how I once had it was pretty much perfect. This looks good like that. At least those are arms. Which is why I think I should definitely try to something a little bit different. Try selecting this face. And perhaps just grab it on X. Sorry, grab it on Y. Yeah, that's what I need to do. Faces, grab on X. There we go. ahead and beef up these arms just a little bit. Grab on Y. There we go. Now we got these sort of wolf-like claw guns. Okay. Okay, a little bit of extra depth to it. I think if move this EX. There we go. Looking pretty smooth. Tap into object mode. Before I had this sort of like line that was appearing there. So far it hasn't appeared. So I think I'm in a good position. At least I know now I'm getting somewhere. At least now I know. Okay. Well, that's over with. Go back to face select. My bad. It took me a while to kind of get those arms the way I wanted them, but I wanted them to look a certain way. So I was really trying to get those to be the way I wanted them to be. Okay, so this one, extrude up like that. I don't want to extrude it up again just to get that type of shape, because that's not what I'm looking for. But what I want to do is grab it. You just look a little skinny for my taste. Just do it like that. Extrude up. Like that. Okay, so we got the ears. Just gonna rename this to Gowl. Body. Okay, so far We have the arms and the ears. We spent about, I don't know, 10 minutes just doing that. So let's go ahead and we're gonna do the tail. Tail should be pretty simple. Actually, it's the same way how we make our actually picking the best part. I don't want to go to here. So would it be there? Extrude. So I gotta enable clipping. Extrude. Extrude. That y-axis. Press it twice. Say like right here. Say, do I actually want to rotate this? Guess if I wanted it to be like more of a bunny rabbit, but actually don't want that. I think I might scale it down just a tad bit. Just get a tad bit more pointier. Yeah, it's pretty good for a tail. We just gotta do the face. I might actually do that to these two here. Scale them down just a bit. Now, I still don't see any distortions to the face necessarily. It's supposed to be a line down the face. I can kind of see something, but I'm not sure if that's because of reflections. But here we go. Now we just need to do this mouth. View. Okay, so that's that. Don't really want to look at the reference. I was gonna make the snout a little bit longer, but I kind of see this sort of line appearing right here. Kind of see it forming a little bit. I think that's from not having clipping on earlier. So I may just have to do this all over again. but I'm gonna ignore it since the 3D model is basically done. And let me see something. Go here to texture paint. Can't really see it as well. I believe with decent texture painting, we can actually get a lot of this done, and it won't really matter too much. So plus, I think it actually makes a good line for when I do the nose. So we go back here to layout, and what I'm gonna do is just go here to mesh, go to cube, go inside the cube, delete all faces, shift A, go to cone, grab it, go over here, rotate, Z, 90, Y, 90, 80. Okay, good. Actually, I'm messing up with that. Because what I'm actually supposed to do is create a cylinder here. That face. Delete that face. Then Shift Alt select. And basically just want to scale this down as far as we could without it concaving, and press F to fill. The reason why we want to do that, so now we can do a couple loop cuts here. See if I can put a loop cut there. Sorry, my parent got back. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and let you guys listen to this radio real quick while I do this. Okay, so I kind of been stuck for a little bit. What I'm working on now is basically the like teeth, but I'm trying to make things a little bit more smoother. Perhaps if I knew some things about like texture, you know what I'm gonna do actually? I think I'm gonna leave it like this, and later on I'll touch it up a little bit with the brush. There's like this sculpting tool here that I don't entirely know how to use. Let me actually just save this before I go ahead and wreck it. Sorry. Um, Not entirely too sure. Like I can smooth it out with this brush here. Actually, yeah, it's actually working. But as you can see, I'm not entirely a big. I don't entirely know what I'm doing when it comes to like this brush. So I need to look up a little bit of information on. Oh snap! That works. I guess smooth that out. Actually, now that I'm thinking about, oh wow, that made the tooth a little too skinny. Now that I think about it, I go open recent. Don't save those changes. Go back here, just open that. That way I know this is like that. And what I think I can actually do is if I go here, hit apply. So it's like that. And then I go in here. I believe this is the smoothest tool, so I can select all of it. And I believe I should be able to smooth that out of the design. And that kind of works a little bit. But I'm definitely going to go ahead and touch up that brushing tool before I go ahead and apply that, because I need to brush that up. I can probably save a few, like, you know, you can smooth this out basically between the both of them. I just gotta figure out the proper controls for doing that. And then the 3D model, the mesh will be complete basically. So yeah, just gotta work on a few more things, and I'll be done. I'm gonna work on the 3 claw like things here. Something might do something a little bit different, or not, or it might not. So let's go ahead and do this. I'm gonna go back to resuming some music, and you guys just jam out and watch me finish this 3D model. Okay, well, looks like I'm going to be ending it right here. Yeah, there's still a few things I could do 3D modeling wise, but I'm not going to do it live. Like, I could join these. Of course, when you hear this song, you know that I'm basically ending the show, so I'm right on time. And yeah, I could always press Control J to join this with the main mesh, but I'm not going to do that. I actually want to look up some things on actually sculpting inside of Blender before I actually go ahead and do that, because I might be able to get what I want, at least the result that I want, using the Boolean modifier and sculpting. I wish I could have talked a little bit more on this, could have gone a little bit more in depth on how I did everything. Once I completely finish the 3D modeling part of this, the next thing would be to do the UV editing, UV unwrapping, and then texture painting, and then set it up things like material properties and stuff like that, so the texture can be used inside of Blender and then inside of Unity as well, in case I ever want to do some cinematic things inside of Blender and that type of thing. But yeah, and then I'll do the boning and rigging, and then I'll start animating these monsters for the game, and that'll be something really cool and interesting to do with you guys. So it's definitely a lot of work, but eventually I'll get to it. Anyhow, this is it's been really great doing this with you guys. I wish I could have talked a little bit more, but I have to go for now. And what I want you guys to do is to like the video, subscribe to the channel for more content, and subscribe to the channel for more content, and keep making games. Until next time, this is going to be Codemaster Jamal, and I'm signing out.